now, once again, Raymond Arroyo.
Welcome back to The World Over. My next guest is the Chaldean Archbishop of Erbil, Iraq, the leader of a community literally fighting for its life in the cradle of Christianity. He's in the United States this week on a mission to raise awareness about the plight of his people. They are facing the terror of ISIS every day and are barred from returning to their homeland. Please welcome Archbishop Bashar Warda. Archbishop, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give me a sense of the state of your diocese. You have so many refugees streaming in, not only from Iraq, but from Syria and other locations. Tell me, what's the state of your people now?
We have in Erbil province now some 80,000 Christians. Majority of them are IDPs, came from Syria, few families, because, you know, the issue of visa and crossing a border. But last year, like this time, when ISIS attacked Mosul and Nineveh Plain, 125,000 Christians were forced to leave their villages and homes. Some 13,000 families came to my diocese, Erbil, with the 3 bishops and some 50 priests, 80 nuns, to find home and security in Erbil.
Yeah, and they are living in public schools, they're living in churches. You've got temporary homes, I know from talking to people there and some priests in your diocese. And these are camps. I mean, there are many, hundreds of these camps, yes?
Yeah, the first hours of the genocide.
And you call it a genocide?
It's a genocide. Yes, it's a genocide. You could sense it. You could feel it there. The first hour of genocide was when people approached churches and took refuge in classrooms and halls, and then the main church, the main building, even beside the altar, everything. We've opened all these churches to them. And it was filled. I mean, my cathedral, my home, and Saint Elia Shrine, Martishmoni Shrine. And within 2 days, we established with 11 public schools some 26 camps, where 700 tents, lots of families were sharing one classroom. Thank God, with the help of the Christian aid that came during the first months, we were able to evacuate all the public schools and all the tents via 2 programs, renting houses for the families. And we, as a church, as a diocese, we are paying some $300,000 every month for houses being rented to Christian families, and for installing also 2,000 caravans.
Yeah, just to give people a sense of what's happening in this region. You're in Kurdistan now. That's
yes,
where
in Erbil. I am in Erbil.
And that's where these refugees are congregating. Tell me about the political situation in Kurdistan. There had been, and continues to be, we're told, a Sunni-Shia truce. That truce, according to some reports I've seen, some people I've spoken to, seems to be fraying and even breaking down. What happens if that truce ends? Where do your people go?
We thank God that at least we found a safe haven in Kurdistan. The Kurdistan government have welcomed, and the Kurdish people also, I must say, have welcomed the Christians for the first time. I mean, we had and before, we did not have any families in certain districts in Kurdistan and in Erbil. Today, we have some 2,000 families spread all over the city of Erbil. Of course, some 8,000 families are inside the city of Ankawa. So the Kurdish people and the Kurdistan government were really of big help for the Christians who received them. But we have not to forget, the Kurdistan has today have 1,070 kilometers of borders with Daesh. We are just 70 kilometers from Daesh, and in certain areas...
Daesh is ISIS.
ISIS. In certain area, we are only 30 kilometers from them. So now, at least the Kurdish forces, which they call Peshmerga, with the help of coalition, they were able to stop to stop Daesh from advancing.
Right.
From time to time there was an attack here and there, but yes, we are afraid, and even I've told my priest and my secretaries and those who are working with me, where would be the next direction if anything would happen against Kurdistan. We've decided where to go.
I've been talking to a lot of the U.S. presidential candidates and asking them about what do you do about ISIS. They say you let the Kurdish fight them, you let some of the Arab countries fight them, and that's enough. We arm them and send some dollars their way. Is that enough? And what are you asking the U.S. government and the European governments to do?
No, it's not enough. It's not enough. The American presence and influence is big in the region. And we cannot forget that part of the problem was the American invasion to Iraq in 2003 and the pulling the troops out before finishing the whole jobs and leaving the whole country and the region in a mess. So it was a mistake in 2003 and a disaster in 2011 when you have to leave all these troops and tell the people, okay, do the job, continue the job. We cannot do it because the whole country is burning with all of these ideas and ideologies, and you have fighters from America, from Canada, and from Europe, some 5,000 foreigners fighting with Daesh. So it's not a regional, it's a global phenomena in a regional set. So you have to do something. You have to ask your candidates about their vision for the American policy in the region. Is there any policy or is there any ideas about how to protect the indigenous people of Iraq, about the minorities? Is there a vision or view on that? Or, helping the Kurdish Peshmerga and the Iraqi forces,
that's not enough.
Training them, it's not enough.
You need U.S. forces or European forces in the region again. That would be your suggestion.
Daesh is a cancer. Daesh is a cancer, and the first thing you do with a cancer is to terminate it. But it's part of the package of that of recovery that needs reconciliation, and so it's a political and it's military. I would like to see more of the military intervention. If it's not troop, at least aiding, training, and doing more on that issue. Daesh became more stronger than last year.
No, they're re-empowered.
They've controlled half of Syria now, a third of Iraq.
Tell me, assuming ISIS can be defeated, does that open a door and allow these Christians to return to Mosul, to the Nineveh Plain?
Definitely to Nineveh Plain. Mosul, some of the families would be reluctant, but because we have a history there, we have shrines, we have houses, we have monasteries.
This is the Christian heritage.
Our people prayed there since the 4th century. We have so much to tell the world about the Christian presence in that area. There was, the whole history of Iraq. We've left Mosul as a patriarch just in the 50s.
Priests are telling me that people in your diocese now are saying, who are living in these little fabricated homes, that these are our coffins. We don't want to be here any longer. Do you support the removal of people from the region, the evacuation of your people at this point, if you can't guarantee their security, Archbishop?
Well, it's very hard really to answer, because I cannot encourage anyone to leave, but I cannot convince or discuss the issue of staying with anyone who decide. Because when I see that the way that they are living in these coffins, it's really hurting everyone. You cannot. These caravans it's meant for 2 or 3 days. That's all. When you go for a camping, but it's not to eat and sleep and study and no.
And they really can't work. They're not part of the society. They're just existing in these camps on the charity of the church, right?
some of them started, for example, when we moved them to our houses, some of them started looking for jobs, I mean. But the other problem is that we have a dispute between Baghdad and Kurdistan concerning financial issues, and that makes life more difficult for the Christians to find jobs. Before 2013, for example, some 1,000 young people were crossing borders every day to work in construction and back again to Nineveh Plain. That's there not anymore.
They can't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, the economical life is there in Kurdistan. It's very difficult. So, but our aim is to help them, to help those who decided to stay.
In our final 2 minutes, what are you looking for? What are you requesting of people in the United States, in Europe, in Africa, and other places who are watching tonight?
To wake up for the genocide that's happening in Middle East and in Iraq and Syria for the Christians and Yazidis.
And to help. How can they help, and what do you want them to, what particularly are you looking for?
Once they recognize it as a genocide, they would act immediately, because everyone knows how the Americans and other people, Europeans, would be reacting towards the victims and the needy people and those who are experiencing the genocide.
This hardship,
everyone,
yeah, and these are Christian brothers and sisters who have been, this is the bedrock of the Christian faith that we're losing here.
Yes.
And the cradle of Christianity. And I don't think we can underestimate
We've contributed a lot. We've contributed a lot to the region. And we have also a lot to give also to the world still, especially concerning our Christian faith.
Archbishop Warda, thank you so much for being here. And we will continue to pray for you and urge people to help you. And for more information on the shrinking Christian presence in Iraq and how you can help, visit Aid to the Church in Need's website, churchinneed.org, churchinneed.org.